What's up, Tailgaters? My name is Tailgate Nate. Welcome to my channel, and our first Group of 5 conference for 2023 predictions has come to an end. There was a little bit of a hiatus in there. Again, I did get sick. You can probably still hear it in my voice. I'm still a little congested, but the American Athletic Conference is done. Here is my projected standings board. Again, when you see teams with the same record, I did kind of work out tiebreakers amongst head-to-head records and things like that. It's just how the standings sit for me right now. Again, you can go back through and watch in order of my power rankings, but the American has produced some really, really good teams. Tulane came out of it last year. Cincinnati made the college football playoff. Of course, they are no longer here, and you got a new look American Athletic Conference here. 6 new teams enter the fray. Which one will be crowned champion? Hey, thank you guys so much for the support on the channel this summer. Hey, again, I'm predicting all 133 teams, so make sure you hit the subscribe button because I'm doing your favorite team. Ring the bell. You can support my channel by watching the video, which you're doing right now, so you might as well like, comment, really do anything you're willing and able to do to help me support my channel. The American Athletic does not have divisions. You see the standings board over to your left over here. We're going to go from Charlotte all the way up to Tulane, kind of talk about why each team is placed where they are, and then just do a quick little overview of what we talked about with the team's individual video. So starting at the bottom here, you got Charlotte and South Florida. You got a newcomer and a returner to the conference. So Charlotte being the newcomer, I just don't think this team is going to fare very well. You do have a new head coach. A lot of transfers come in to this program, but I just don't think it's going to pan out really here in year one. Now, it may pan out long-term, that sort of thing. I'm not really too sure about quite yet. I'm not sure what I think about Biff Poggi as a head coach, but Charlotte, I do not think projects well this season. I think they're going to sit at the bottom of the conference this year. And South Florida, I think, added a lot of talent this year. Again, I said this in my South Florida video. I think 2-10 is going to be very underwhelming for what this team may very well be capable of. They definitely could prove me wrong. They definitely could get some more wins this season. First year under Alex Golesh, I think that offense is going to get a whole lot better. We'll see what South Florida is capable of. You got a lot of transfers coming in to that program as well. But South Florida is going to be a very interesting team this year. For right now, I'm projecting them down at the bottom. I think give Alex Golesh a couple of years, he'll be able to project this team really high in the American Athletic Conference standings. Who knows? They could make a huge jump this year as well. But that's a team that's poised to make a huge jump within the next couple of seasons. That is what I am predicting. You move up here, you got another newcomer in UAB. Again, I've talked about UAB before. I'm just not buying the Trent Dilfer hire yet. I do think UAB has a pretty talented team this year, and I think they're still going to continue to play hard-nosed football under the former Super Bowl winning quarterback in Trent Dilfer, but there's a lot of inexperience on that coaching staff. Trent Dilfer is inexperienced as in it of himself. UAB definitely could see a worse record than 5-7 this season, but I think this team is still going to fight, still be competitive, just slightly missing out on a bowl game here. You got Navy back up here as well at 4-8. Same thing with Rice, same record, but we'll talk about Navy first. It's a team that is bringing in a new head coach as well. With a longtime head coach departing, a new head coach coming in, maybe the system around Navy changes a little bit, but what this team does have is an offense that, while is getting better, is still very lackluster and at times just absolutely terrible. Defense, you got a lot of returners on that program as well. So this could be a year where Navy makes a big jump as well. I just think, again, you're going to need some time under the new head coach to really be able to adjust to that system. Rice is up here next, and, well, with the Rice Owls, it's going to be very interesting this year. I do think JT Daniels comes in. You got your top 2 leading receivers coming back, and I think the offense is going to be rolling for Rice this season. That's a team that made a bowl game last year, even though they were 5-7. They got the invite to play. That's a team looking to do the same thing this season. They feel like they've improved. You got a former 5-star out of high school at quarterback. Again, your top 2 returners come back. Your top 2 leading receivers, I should say, come back. Things are looking good. I think life is going to be a little rough for Rice, though, here in the American Athletic Conference. And that defense, they're losing a lot of key pieces. I don't necessarily trust it quite yet, and I think that what may keep Rice from going bowling again in 2023. We'll see how JT Daniels does, as yet to live up to his full expectation. We'll see if he can do it at Food University. Okay, when you take a look here at, or I guess when you go one ladder up, just right down here. Sorry, pointing the wrong way. Just right down here, the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. Again, I said this. I'm not quite said this in my little breakdown video of Tulsa. Not quite sure what to think about this team. I think they have a lot of very nice talent. Braylon Braxton is at quarterback. He's got a lot of weapons offensively, defensively. There are some good pieces up and down the board on Tulsa, but you got a new head coach coming in Kevin Wilson, former Ohio State offensive coordinator. He's brought his staff over here as well. And there are some questions to answer about Tulsa this season. It's a team that I just barely have missing out on a bowl game. I believe you got a couple of Power 5 teams there on that non-conference schedule, which I think is going to make it difficult for Tulsa. But hey, going ahead and taking a look at this Tulsa team, I think they're really talented. I think they could end up making a postseason berth. That's going to be an interesting team to watch out of the American Athletic, but this close to a bowl game here. East Carolina sitting right here at 5-7, 4-4 in the conference, as now we take a jump here in conference record. And East Carolina, I still think is going to be very competitive. They're going to fight, and they're going to get their fair share of wins this season. However, and I think a lot of that is going to be due to some of the next guy up mentality. Look, when you take a look at the offense, Holden Ahlers is gone at quarterback. Keaton Mitchell is gone at running back. You got a lot of players out of that wide receiver and defensive back room that are leaving. A lot of very key players, some leading pieces in that secondary, a couple leading receivers leaving this team as well. But when I take a look at East Carolina top to bottom, I think Mike Houston's a very solid head coach. And while I think it's rough sledding at the beginning, that may keep the Pirates out of a bowl game, I think all in all, it's going to be a pretty solid season considering all you lost from last year. Now we get into the teams that are above 500 that I have making a bowl game. Number one here, or I should say, I guess number 7 is Temple. Temple is kind of maybe like my surprise team in the American Athletic this year. I think that team is going to be pretty solid. Now, the defense and offensive line have to improve, but did you watch E.J. Warner at quarterback last year? Son of Kurt Warner was fantastic. The American Athletic Newcomer, Freshman of the Year, whatever they call the award there in that conference. There's a lot of returning weapons offensively, and I have faith that the offensive line and defense will at least get somewhat better, and more so the defense than the offensive line. But I think Temple and E.J. Warner, with some years under their belt, they're going to be able to get some fair share of wins. They're going to have to steal a couple games that they shouldn't. But Temple, I believe, is going bowling in 2023. That's kind of like my surprise team in the American Athletic Conference this season. Florida Atlantic is sitting right here at 6-6, and this team could be much higher on this board. When you take a look at the FAU Owls this season, a lot of Owls in the American Athletic Conference. They have all the Owl mascots in FBS college football. I believe they do. That's crazy. You got Rice, Temple, and FAU. Anyway, going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but Florida Atlantic bringing in Tom Herman, who thrives in a G5 scenario. Most recently was at Texas. Now went and took the job here at FAU. And then when you take a look deeper into the roster, Casey Thompson is transferring in, a former P5 quarterback from Texas and Nebraska. And then when you take a look, a lot of offensive talent, some pretty good defensive pieces as well. I just think this team lacks this necessary depth to really be super competitive in this conference this year. But if everything goes right, if the depth thing gets proven wrong, that's a team that I absolutely could see competing for a title in the American Athletic this season. Right now, I got them sitting at 6-6. 7-5 wouldn't surprise me either, if not higher than that here as well. North Texas here sitting at 7-5. And North Texas' Eric Morris coming in. Seth Luttrell is out. Never understood that, but once they brought, I did understand he has like a 500 record or something with the program, but once they brought Eric Morris in, I fell in love. Eric Morris, a very solid head coaching hire. He's going to have this team right up to where they were. They just competed for a Conference USA title. Now you're coming over to the American Athletic. A totally new game. There's a lot of really good teams here in this conference. I think North Texas is going to fit in pretty well. They're going to have a really good rushing attack this year. You're going to be breaking in a new quarterback. I believe a transfer from University of Louisiana Monroe. The name is escaping my mind. But I think Eric Morris is going to have this team ready, going to have them rolling, ready to go, and I think they're going to have a really solid season this year at 7-5. Then you get into the 4 teams that I really genuinely think, and then maybe add FAU in there as well. But these 4 teams that are up here, I think are your contenders. I think are the team that if you want to pick someone to go win an American Athletic title, I believe that is these 4 teams right here. And SMU is first up in line. Tanner Mordecai is gone, and that is some big shoes to fill. But Preston Stone likely going to end up getting that starting job. Very highly rated recruit, and he's got a lot of speed around him. Yes, Rashee Rice is gone, but there are some really good talent. There's some really good talent in the running back room, and even though Rice is gone, you got a lot of talent in the wide receiver room as well. Defense has got speed. Offense has got speed. It's all about speed, speed, speed for Rhett Lashley's group, and I think that's going to lead to some great success here in 2023. Not quite an American Athletic title. I think there are a couple teams that are going to fare a little bit better than them this year, but SMU, watch out for them, because if they get hot, they can roll easily into American Athletic title this season. But much can Memphis. I know Ryan Silverfield still has some stuff to prove as a head coach, but I think he proves it this season. I really like what this Memphis team has, especially on offense with Seth Hennigan at quarterback. He's been a multi-year starter for that program. He's a phenomenal talent, and when he gets rolling, man, is he really good. And he's got a lot of great talent surrounding him at that quarterback position to be able to play it really, really well. Defensively, I think they have some solid pieces as well. And Memphis, I think, will fare pretty well in non-conference here as well. Now, I do think there's going to be a game on the schedule where Memphis maybe trips up. And I believe I had it being to North Texas. Not quite sure on that front, but Memphis, I think, is going to be a team that is rocking, ready to go. I think they're going to be a phenomenal team this season. I have them finishing 3rd in the American Athletic, but in my mind, there was really no doubt who the top 2 teams in the American Athletic Conference were. Sure, if everything goes right, some things fall their way. I think Memphis, SMU, again, maybe Florida Atlantic, we'll see how much goes right. I think those teams can absolutely compete for an American Athletic Championship this year, but there was no doubt in my mind who I was putting in the conference championship game, and that was UTSA and Tulane. We'll start with the Roadrunners, who are a newcomer to this conference. I think, they fit into this conference really, really well, and I think they are going to be immediately ready to compete. They are coming off, I believe, back-to-back Conference USA championships, if not just Conference USA champions from last season. But UTSA is a phenomenal team. Yes, Zachary Franklin transferred away to Ole Miss, but Frank Harris comes back, and even though, again, Franklin is gone, there is a butt-ton of talent still in that wide receiver room. Defensively, there are some solid pieces there as well. Look, this offense is going to be explosive. It's going to be really, really good. This is a team that can challenge almost anyone in the American, or it's a team that not almost anyone. It's a team that can challenge anyone in the American Athletic. You got Tulane on the schedule there as well. And again, I do see Tulane being able to come out on top of that matchup, which is why they're sitting here at number 1. To me, it really is a 50-50 game, but I think Tulane is going to be one of the best teams in Group of 5 yet again this season. Michael Pratt comes back at quarterback, and even though Tajee Spears is gone, your top 2 leading receivers are gone. There's a lot of great offensive skill position players still there, and that defense that was just absolutely superb, excellent last year, I think will be again in 2023. There's no doubt in my mind that those are the 2 teams that are going to be playing for American Athletic title, and they are sitting right there. So, hey, you got 2 conference champs from last season. Tulane won the American last year. I think they're going to have a chance to defend that title. And then UTSA won Conference USA last year. I think they're going to play for the conference title. And you can possibly get that matchup 2 weeks in a row, and they both can be Game of the Year contenders. Unbelievable. It's going to be a great season to watch in the American Athletic. There are my standing predictions. Hey, if you want to see your favorite team and you haven't seen them yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'm doing all 133. Remember to play hard, but tailgate harder. The Fun Belt, the Sun Belt coming up next. See all you guys in the next video.